it, but to see it happen, I did not see the race other than what I've seen on social media. But I expected her to win. And your buddy, Guayo
Palomo,
he's there in Japan, and he sent us some video that I posted on social media a moment ago after Ating wins the gold, and she kind of goes up to his phone and makes some comments, and we just posted it here moments ago.
Well, first of all, Guayo is awesome, and obviously so is Ating. We already knew that.
Yep.
So we're really happy for her.
You know, I'm going to make this about me now. She's going to come to the studio at some point and show off that gold medal, and I'm very excited about that, my friend. No, that's great for her. We expected her to do it. I remember hearing about her. Obviously, everybody here in College Station knew about her, everything she's been able to do this past year. But I started hearing from people who aren't Aggie followers that were talking about her. Like, hey, have you met Mo? Do you know Mo? Some people calling her Moo. Yeah, I know.
No, I should probably say it wrong myself.
No, that's right. Hey, thing Mo.
It's funny. I was at my favorite breakfast place one day, and this guy that's a bartender / waiter that I know real well, he came over to my wife, and I said, that person, that's going to be that's an Olympian. I said, yeah, thing. And he's like, oh, you know who she is? yeah, we got an idea.
We got a little idea. Yeah, we're certainly going to celebrate that. Eduardo El Guayo. Or El Guayo? Or just Guayo?
I think he's Guayo, and I just call him Eduardo just because everybody else calls him Guayo.
So he's going to give us a report from Japan at 10:30, so we appreciate him calling the show. A loaded show, my friend. We're going to do number 19 in the Factory Builder stores, 21 and 21. So we'll release that here around 8:20, and we'll break that down. We're also going to talk with head coach Jackie Sherrill at 9:05. Love me some Jackie. First time I met him in the 80s. Yeah. He was playing golf in Walden, golf course by Lake Conroe. And my brother's like, hey, Jackie Sherrill's over there. And I went and got an autograph for him. I'm assuming I was 10, 8 years old, whatever it was. So he's going to join the show at 9:05. Dave Wilson of ESPN, 9:35. John Harris, 10:05. And as I mentioned, Eduardo Palomo in Japan with a report at 10:35. So very loaded show. OB, the topic of the day. And I think there's old man response and in the moment response. And when I don't mean you as the old man. I'm saying
that's fine.
Me too.
You know.
I'm saying like people above the age of 21 probably sometimes have a different opinion than what an 18-year-old would have. But would you forego your senior football season to start early in college? Why or why not? If you want to call the show and answer that question with us, you can at the BCS Eye Associates hotline, 979-693-1150. You can also text the show on the A&B text line, 979-693-1150. This is TexAgs Radio. I forgot to tell you that. Hey guys, David Nuño, OB here, presented by David Gardner's Jewelers here in the Rollo Insurance Studio. This is all because of what the news we found out yesterday that we had heard was going to probably happen. Quinn Ewers, the number one quarterback in the state, who I believe decommitted from Texas at the end of last year or around October, November time to go to Ohio State, now pulls another move, and he's like, I'm going to go to Ohio State super early.
Yeah, that's interesting. If I needed money, I can understand. Yep. You know, if there's really the opportunity to make seven figures or even, you know, mid to high sixes or even sixes, you know, I can understand that if I needed money, you know, because family's going to need money, whatever. But beyond,
what if you don't need money?
Beyond that, I mean, does anybody play football or sports anymore just because they love playing? And I know I'm old fashioned, but I love being a part of the team. And I loved representing back in 78 and 79. I loved representing White Oak High School and White Oak, Texas. Now, I don't know if White Oak, Texas loved me representing them.
But you love them.
But I loved being on that team, and I loved putting on that uniform and everything about playing. Now, I wasn't a great player. I wasn't even a good player. But my point of view obviously is different. Never had the talent that Quinn Ewers had. Didn't have this opportunity. But you know what? I needed money. I didn't come from a wealthy family, so or even I came from a lower middle class family. Let's say that. So we could have used some money. So had I been good and that option been available, I don't know what I would have done, but I like to think that I would have said, you know what, I can wait a year, because playing on my high school team with my friends from my town, and because I love playing, would have meant that much to me.
Yeah, I can go many different directions with this topic for myself if I were to put myself in those shoes, right? There's one school of thought is you need that senior year experience of bonding with your teammates, grinding out victories, maybe winning a state championship, or what that would mean to you later on when you get to the next level, because I believe winning is something that not everybody knows how to win. And going through a senior season, that is experience that you're not going to get at the next level. The flip side of that is where you're going to be training with some of the best in the world, right? Or at least a higher level of training at the collegiate level. But I think the experience itself, goodness gracious, like that senior year, some of those buddies, you're letting them down.
Yes, absolutely.
Those are people you're supposed to.
They're thinking they're playing for a state championship this year.
Absolutely. And you're doing it 2 weeks before the season. Now, I understand why. I get it. I understand that. But the other side of the equation is, how many people are going to have the grades good enough to be able to do this, leave early, and go to school? That's not to say that somebody doesn't, help you out to get you there, right? But how many? I don't think it's a huge group of kids that are going to be able to opt out, go to theirs, and start early and start making money. That being said, you've opened the door, and this is what happens.
And more will think they can. And the one thing I can't disagree with you about, but I don't like what you said, is that, well, now you have a chance to work with these, better coaches and whatnot. And I always say, and I always have a problem with the guys that go to IMG and things like that. The guys you work with now, the coaches you work with now, helped you get into a position where Ohio State wanted you, helped you get into a position where IMG wanted you. So why does all of a sudden you feel like, this isn't good enough anymore? They helped you get to where you are. But, again, I don't know. On the surface, I would think if you lived in South Lake, you're probably not needing money, but you never know what somebody's situation is. And it may not be that they need money. He just wants to get out there, and everybody has to make their own decisions for themselves. I get that. But I would like to think that even in the financial environment that I grew up in, that had I been that good, I still would have played for my team to try to win a championship for my school and my town and my friends, and put that off for another year, because I would like to think football would have meant that much to me.
Let me ask you this. What is different than Kobe Bryant going to the NBA, right out of high school, or Christian Pulisic moving to Europe to start making money at the age of, 15, I think he was, when he went to Europe to go play for Borussia Dortmund? What is different? Is it because it's college and it should be a student athlete? Is that the biggest difference? Or golfers or gymnasts? You see what I'm getting at?
No, I'm talking, well, first of all, Kobe, to my knowledge, finished his high school. He didn't let his high school guys down.
Nope, he finished.
So, that was the rule there. The universities knew all along that was a possibility and probably a probability, those that recruited him. So he was with his high school. He never actually joined a team or was part of a team and then let them down or exited. Now, I don't know the soccer thing. I would imagine that you really don't get the opportunities in soccer in the United States.
In the U.S., yeah.
So you got to take them when they're there.
And here in the United States, the NFL or American football, as they would say it in Europe, this is the top. So there are plenty of opportunities. Even universities here would beat other countries if there was if football was played at the level that we see here in the States and other countries. United States would still run the table with it no matter what. Kind of like old school
basketball.
Basketball.
It used to be, yeah.
Hey, let's say hi to the crew, because we already started a topic and just started breaking it all down. We'll continue doing that. Let's go to the fishbowl and talk to Daltonian. Dalton joining us here. Hello, Dalton. How are you and Nuño's Niños?
Morning. Busy morning back here. Lots of track content coming out of the back. Shout out to Richard for writing a story. I don't know how he knew that would happen.
Yeah, I mean,
it's like he can see the future.
Hey, can you Is that Richard behind you, or is that a former
young Tommy Lasorda?
Yeah, who is that? Let me see.
He looks like he's getting ready to throw a chair or something.
Look at that. Good old Tommy. Good to see him. Hey, good work back there, Richard. Way to go to get that story up. It was we all knew it was coming. That being said, to see it happen and to see the results, wonderful. We move now to the News and Social Center. Tori Espravoa. Good morning, Tori.
Good morning. How are you guys doing today?
We're all right. Are you really asking to hear an answer, or are you just asking because that's what people do?
Genuinely asking, how's our morning going?
It's going okay.
It's good.
Follow up? No follow-up question?
For me?
I'm just kidding. Go ahead. I made it awkward.
Well, news and headlines other than Mo winning the gold. I wanted to give an update for the track for the Aggies in Tokyo. Andy Coons is competing today in the heptathlon high jump at 8:35 p.m. Central Standard Time. That's
8:35 p.m., so not in 20 minutes, right? Okay.
No.
Awesome. Yeah, I think it's like 10 or 11 o'clock there in Japan. Not that I know, but when I was talking to your buddy Guayo, he was like, I'll call the show at 10:30, but it's midnight. I was like, oh, sorry.
Well, I would be up.
You would.
If I was at the Olympics.
Heck yeah, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but he's been there for a while. He's, after a while, you get a little tired. Anything else for us, Tori?
At the moment, that is it. I can read a text if you'd like me to. I have Lance and Ram that says, absolutely, if I was in the position to capitalize significantly on my name, image, or likeness, I would forego my senior year in high school and move straight to college. I enjoyed my senior year of high school quite a bit, but I particularly enjoyed my freshman year at Texas A&M and would have enjoyed it even more if I could have made some cash and played some football.
Look, I gotta imagine it is a tough decision regardless. I don't think people who make this decision want to be a bad teammate, right? I hate to use this as an example. Let me see if I can tell this story the right way. If you make a mistake and you get in trouble, let's say legally, you, in a way, are being selfish, hurting your team if you can't be there. It's not on the same level, but it's the same level of hurting your teammates.
Well, again, there's two sides to every story, and a guy's got to you make your individual decisions for yourself, and sometimes they're good decisions, sometimes they're bad decisions. You live with the decisions you make. This is what he wants to do. So, okay, fine. Personally, I don't like it, and I don't think I would. I don't think I would, again, because I enjoyed playing football in high school. I enjoyed playing for my town. I enjoyed playing for my school and with my friends.
Let me ask you this. Would the dollar amount make the difference? So you can make $30,000, go right now to Ohio State, or you can make $1 million. How does that change the game?
Well, I think it obviously changes it. I mean, it'd have to. It changes for people entering the draft and things like that. They come back to try to make more. Now, unfortunately, when I was a kid, $30,000 was a heck of a lot of money.
Yeah.
But $1 million, that's why I say I would like to think that I would play and think that $1 million will be there after my, I enroll in January, like they do now. I can't wait 6 months and play football for my town and my school and my friends and try to win a championship with them. I can't wait 6 months. But it's not my decision to make.
We had the benefit of wisdom in the fact that we know that growing up too quick isn't great.
Well, let's understand he has somebody probably our age that's advising him.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, we're going to continue the dialogue, but when we come back here, we're going to do 21 and 21 presented by Factory Builder Stores. Number 19, and his name is?
His name is?
We can go to break.
You're listening to Aggieland's Home for Sports. Metal Zone, 1150 AM and 93.7 FM.
Need help with your high wind or hail damage claims? Call Larry Winkler and the fine folks at United. United Roofing is your local professional family-owned business with over 40 years of service in the Brazos Valley. United is your insurance claims specialist, providing the most comprehensive full system labor and material warranty in the roofing industry. Call United today at 268-ROOF.
At United Roofing and Sheet Metal, we've got you covered inside and out.
Tim Bailey Plumbing. Drivers, be particularly alert during the hours when children are walking to and from school. Please drive as if their lives depended on it. All too often they do. This message is from Tim Bailey Plumbing, serving the Brazos Valley. They're your residential plumbing service and remodeling specialists. Dependable service at reasonable rates. Call for your service and remodeling needs at 979-204-9800. That's 979-204-9800. Tim Bailey Plumbing, wishing our kids a safe and healthy back-to-school season.
Since 1957, Slovačić Sausage in Snook has been making the best tasting sausage in Texas from the same family recipe. Slovačić is the official sausage of Texas A&M Athletics. Whether it's from the grill to the family gathering or from the pit to the neighborhood party, serve the sausage voted best in the Brazos Valley. Serve Slovačić. Be sure to come in and check out their full-service meat market, relax on the front porch, or grab some fresh kolaches from their bakery on your way out. Slovačić Sausage, Highway 60 in Snook.
The flagship station for Aggie Athletics is The Zone. Whenever the Aggies are playing, you can hear them right here at 1150 and 93.7 FM. Thank you to all our listeners and our sponsors for backing the Aggies all year long. Cooper's Old Time Pit Barbecue, Swerdeman Flooring, Prosperity Bank, Hargrove Insurance, Park at Traditions Exceptional Senior Living, Cherry Rufino Broker Realtor with Coldwell Banker Apex Realtors, and Amarillo National Bank. Here's a big gig 'em to all these sponsors. Listen to Aggie Athletics on The Zone 1150 and 93.7 FM.
You have the right to know. The right to know about culture. The right to know about the economy. The right to know about technology and to know about sports. You have the right to know about education and politics and the weather. You have the right to know what's happening abroad and in your backyard. But above all else, you have the right to know that this right is under attack, and we must work to protect it. Because in order to be free, we must be informed. Understand the threats. ProtectPressFreedom.org.
Start your sports day with Keyshawn, J. Will, and Zubin. Powered by WC Tractor. Weekday mornings 5 to 8 on 1150 AM and 93.7 FM. Or just tell your smart speaker to play Zone 1150. WC Tractor is your local award-winning Kubota and New Holland dealer. Call them with your questions at 1-888-8-TRACTOR. That's 1-888-8-TRACTOR. Check them out online at WCTractor.com. Rise and shine weekday mornings 5 to 8 with Keyshawn, J. Will, and Zubin from ESPN Radio. Powered by WC Tractor here on The Zone.
It is TexAgs Radio, presented by David Gardner's Jewelers, breaking things down here on in the Rollo Insurance Studio. We're having a good old time, and it is now time for our 21 and 21, presented by Factory Builder Stores. They have appliances and cabinets, 7 showrooms across 6 cities: Texas, Austin, College Station, Corpus Christi, Dallas, 2 in Houston, and in San Antonio. They're knowledgeable, helpful, and personable. There's one right here in College Station on Wellborn Road and Rock Prairie, just on the west side of the railroad tracks. Trust me, you want to check out their great work out there. It's Factory Builder Stores. And OB, we will give you number 19. And when I say this name, I understand where he is ranked and why he is ranked there. But he's also one of those guys, and a lot of these guys we've said this about, in 2 months, might shoot up the boards big time. That is number 19, Damon Demas.
Yeah, this is obviously based on potential because he didn't catch a pass last year, struggled to get off press coverage, and but got better. And at the end of the year, didn't catch a pass. I remember a play, we've talked about it, Gabe and I before, in the Orange Bowl, and he was in and he ran a deep post and he was wide open. I mean, it's going to be a touchdown, but Kellen opted to throw a shorter pass to Aniyah Smith, and it turned out to be like a 50-yard gain.
Right.
So, you can't fault Kellen for not going there to Aniyah, but that's just something that stood out to me. There was a guy that was just getting better, was getting some playing time, and was beating his man. He just didn't get the ball thrown his way. I look at Damon Demas. Well, first of all, it's my understanding he's gone from about 185 to 190 pounds to around 210 or 215.
Yep.
So he's ready to get off press coverage now. And I think what happens, Damon's this 5-star guy that everybody was expecting to do great things, and he probably will. But what happens is you get used to seeing, maybe not used to, you see a Myles Garrett or a Christian Kirk come in and just make this immediate impact as a freshman, and you wonder why so-and-so doesn't do it. And what you're doing is you're just marginalizing the greatness of a guy like Garrett or Kirk. Most guys come in and they have a transition, especially a guy like Demas who hadn't played in 2 years,
Right.
because he couldn't play as a senior because of a ridiculous UIL ruling. But anyway, I look at him much the way, and I think we should think of him the way we looked at Caleb Chapman. Caleb Chapman came in. We were hearing great things about him. This guy's going to be special. We would see him in what little practice we could see, and you say, man, that guy's just smooth, and you can see it's there. And we were all hyping him up, and he didn't play. He didn't play at all. And this is even before he got hurt. And as what we were hearing was he was getting better as the year went on, and they were thinking about putting him in, and then he got hurt. So, but then you saw him last year really burst onto the scene after he'd had some time to the adjustment, and he was on his way, I think, to having just a tremendous year before that injury. Well, I expect Damon Demas to be very similar. That this year he's going to burst on the scene. Now, who's he going to replace? Chapman's going to be back healthy, so
Sure.
I don't know if he's going to come out there and be a starter right away. I don't know how many balls he's going to get, but I think he will make a significant impact.
I agree with you. Look, not everybody lives up to their potential, but there is something there with Demas, 100%. You go look at what he did in high school. That will translate eventually to the collegiate level and will translate in the SEC. He's big, he's strong, he's fast, and we know he is a playmaker, hence the name he got, Hollywood.
I've seen the highlights from high school, which doesn't say a lot sometimes, because you also have to consider the caliber of competition. But I'm seeing him jumping, it seems like, and I'm sure I'm exaggerating, it seems like 4 feet in the air to make a one-handed catch, catches that most people just watch go over their head. I saw him in the highlights from the Hawaii All-Star game when he didn't even play his senior year, and he goes out and he catches a long pass. He makes acrobatic catches, and then he for a touchdown. Then he catches a short pass and runs across the field, outrunning everybody and juking everybody for a touchdown. Right. He has all the ability in the world. It's just putting it together. And again, you go from, all right, I don't want to be mean, but the caliber of competition he was facing in inner city Houston is a huge, when you factor in the coaching and things like that they don't have as many coaches a lot of times to be as specialized and things like that. So you go from that, sitting out a year, and then playing in the SEC, and you might have trouble getting off press coverage, So, but I do believe that you're going to see all that raw ability get harnessed and be able to, he's going to be able to show what we expect that he could be. Now, I think this year he makes an impact. I think it's the future when he becomes like 22 or 23, when he becomes like a difference maker, all conference type of guy. But and maybe it'll come early, but I think this year he's a guy that he goes in there and makes an impact. And I think at the end of the year, you're probably looking at something like 30, 25 to 35 or 40 catches for 500 and something yards,
I'll take that.
And, maybe, and 4 or 5 touchdowns is probably what I would expect this year.
Here's another thing I will say about it. By the way, if you want to watch the show, we are going to stream the first hour and a half on YouTube. It was a success yesterday, so go to our YouTube channel, subscribe. At some point, we're going to be giving away little prizes as you do make that channel bigger and better. But when it comes to the A&M wide receiver core, that is one of the knocks that people give A&M is they don't have the wide receivers. They have the potential. They just haven't all put it together or health reasons and whatnot. If Demas is a factor this year, there's no doubt about it, the wide receiver core is better. Chapman is healthy. We're way better. That will be the difference, I think, in what kind of explosive offense we see this year is those playmakers.
Yeah, I think those that are questioning A&M's receivers aren't looking close enough. I don't think anybody would look at Aniyah Smith and say, they don't have a good receiver there. That's an NFL receiver, maybe even a high pick. I think Chase Lane showed you that he could be somebody really special in his very first year as a starter. And again, we saw what was happening with Caleb before he got hurt. So you add probably the most talented guy in the mix is Demond Demas. You put him in there with a guy, and then you have Hez Jones, who showed that he can be a reliable receiver, especially on third down. And then you mix in Moose Muhammad, a guy that I'm really excited about, because every time I saw his highlights, my mind immediately went to Christian Kirk. They look like the same kind of guy. And we don't even talk about Terry Price's kid, who I think before he leaves here will establish himself as a very good receiver. So I think the receiver position is in a lot better shape than some think.
Correct me if I'm wrong here. It was Jimbo Sunday at the kickoff that mentioned basketball not really having positions anymore. It was Jimbo who said that, right?
Yeah.
And that's what you can say about this A&M offense, right? So we're throwing in Demas, Anias, Kayla, all the guys, Moosey, all the ones that you mentioned out there. You just want to put playmakers out there. And if it's in the backfield, if it's on, at a wide out, at the X, at the Y, wherever it may be, they have so many options that if this is truly about winning a national championship, getting to the college football playoffs, all these people are not going to worry about their numbers. You're going to be able to spread out, and then maybe the SEC or the national writers don't take notice because it is so spread out evenly, but they're going to notice the scores of games.
Well, I think Jimbo is very accomplished, as we all know, at scheming an offense to set up favorable one-on-one matchups, right? You're getting to that point where if you get the one-on-one matchup and your quarterback reads it and acknowledges this is where I got to go and gets it there, you're getting to that point where your guy in the one-on-one matchup is better than the guy that's trying to cover him in the one-on-one matchup. And I'm talking about Jalen Weidemeyer.
Right.
I'm talking about Isaiah Spiller out of the backfield, or Devon A-Chain out of the backfield, even going deep, and then a Chase Lane and Nia Smith. And then you're going to add, you saw what Caleb Chapman did against the guys trying to guard him one-on-one against Florida last year. And then you're going to just add a Demond Demas into that mix. So you give me a really good coach that knows how to scheme to get the one-on-one matchups, and then you give me better players in the one-on-one matchups than the guys guarding him. And, yeah, I think you're going to see it in the scores, just like you were saying.
Yeah, I look, we're not just puffing smoke out there to do it. I really do believe. No, there's some question marks. There's no doubt about it. And Demas is one of those question marks. But he's not that big of a question mark for me because I think sometimes at the wide receiver spot, and like many positions, it takes a while to adjust to the speed, the strength of the SEC. He's put on the strength, apparently. I forget where I read. Ania Smith was just talking about how great of an offseason he was having. I think he is headed towards a big time year. All right, we're going to continue our dialogue. If you want to be a part of the conversation, we do have an open segment coming up here on TexAgs Radio presented by David Gardner's Jewelers. The number to call the show is 979-693-1150. That is the BCSI hotline, or you can text the A&B text line, Real Texas Banking. I do want to get into this, my friend. Did you see the Texas Select Senate over there ripping the horns yesterday?
I've heard about it.
I'm going to read you a couple quotes that I saw that I enjoyed reading out there. We'll bring it to you next here on TexAgs Radio.
I'm Chelsea Reber with your community calendar on The Zone. Homeschoolers across the Brazos Valley are invited to a Community Homeschool Center open house Wednesday from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. Meet teachers and learn about clubs. Find more information on the CHC website. Junior League is collecting school supplies for local kids. Stuff the Bus is Wednesday through Friday from 4:30 to 8 at local Blue Baker locations. Wednesday at University Drive, Thursday at Dominic Drive, and Friday at Mills Park Circle. Make a monetary donation at jlbcs.org. The Arts Council of Brazos Valley is hosting their first ever Community Art Day on Saturday from 2 to 4 p.m. at the Arts Council. There will be a variety of activities for the entire family. Listen to your favorite shows and favorite teams on The Zone wherever you go. Listen on your radio at 1150 AM, 93.7 FM, or online at radioaggieland.com, or tell your smart speaker to play Zone 1150. I'm Chelsea Reber on The Zone.
Here's Brad Beard of Intercon.
When we started Intercon in early 1991, we were well aware that we would be competing with some companies that use unscrupulous techniques to make a quick sale, such as bait and switch, or 40% off if you commit today, or misleading incomplete quotes. Intercon's practice is to be completely honest and encourage prospective customers to talk to our former customers. We've encouraged customers to get multiple quotes. We are confident and proud of our value proposition for windows, glass, and solar screens. We never want anyone to rush into a decision they will regret in the future. Just remember, warranties are only as good as the people who provide them and are servicing the area when situations arise. This is our home and only marketplace, and we will protect our home turf. You've probably heard the saying, the buck stopped here, and that is with me, Brad Beard, president and co-owner of Intercon LLC.
Whether you have new construction or an existing home, let the fine folks from Intercon help your home energy efficiency year-round. Call Brad Beard of Intercon today at 823-3639. That's 823-3639.
Our publications reach every corner of the Brazos Valley, and we want to partner with you in sharing your message with the community. You may recognize a few of our Bryan Broadcasting publications.
Best of the Brazos Valley.
Brazos Life, the annual manual.
Welcome home, Brazos Valley.
Brazos Family. Brazos Wellness.
Brazos Valley Bride.
Peace, Brazos Christian Life.
With the combined power of 7 magazine titles, 11 radio stations, and digital solutions, Bryan Broadcasting Publications can help you be heard. Call 979-695-9595 to learn more.
Listening to The Zone on your Amazon Dot or Echo is easy. Even Louie figured it out. 2 simple steps, and you could hear Chip Howard Sports Talk, TexAgs Radio, The Louie Bellina Show, and many of your favorite A&M teams anytime, anywhere with your special friend, Alexa. Step 1, and only one time, say, Alexa, enable Zone 1150 skill. Then anytime you want to hear your favorite host or teams, all you have to do is say, Alexa, play Zone 1150. Make sure to set it all up and say, Alexa, enable Zone 1150 skill, and listen in anytime just by saying, Alexa, play Zone 1150.
Welcome to the Quiet Storm here on 102 Jams. I'm your host, David Nuño, here on TexAgs Radio, presented by David Gardner's Jewelers here in the Rollo Insurance Studio. What did you think of that song right there?
I don't know.
That was piano bar-esque.
You sound like a kind of like a 70s FM DJ there.
The Quiet Storm.
Yeah, the late night.
Hey, ladies, if you're listening to the show, call us on 979-693-1150 on the BCSI Associates Jam Line.
I mean, we're going to our phone switchboard's going to light up, man. My wife probably be the first one to call.
You can text the show as well, Irma. A&B text line 979-69. That's a terrible voice. You're making me feel like it's good. It's not that good.
That sounds like I said, 70s FM.
A little vibe.
Yeah.
Dalton, did you like the voice, or is it a pass?
Pass.
Okay. Hard pass. All right, so let's talk a little bit about this Senate hearing. Yes, or not Senate hearing. I guess it was a select committee put together by the Senate. And I'm reading from the AP. The headline in this story says, Big 12 Commissioner Bob Bowlesby warns of a 50% hit to the TV contract value after Texas and Oklahoma leave for the SEC. And the part that, there's a lot of quotes in here that I really enjoyed reading. But this is a little bit more on the newsy side than on the fun side for me. So this is from Mac Rhodes, the Baylor AD. He says, many of my colleagues around the country believe that the University of Texas created the situation because they think so highly of themselves. My humble opinion, I completely disagree. I think it's because they felt too little of themselves.
Well, I think that's nice spin. I think you would never find anyone at the University of Texas that thinks too little of themselves.
No, but I think what he's saying is like you're supposed to be the kind of team and program that can carry a conference. Obviously, you can't.
Well, they're saying that, and yet it was a viable conference as long as you have Texas and Oklahoma.
Right.
And there's a reason the SEC wants Texas and Oklahoma, right?
Sure, they're great brands.
So to me, although I feel bad for what's happened, I really do to the other remaining teams. The fact of the matter is, and this is being proven, their existence is almost completely dependent on Texas and Oklahoma. So it's almost like you got jilted, so now you're going to, say, well, I really didn't need them anyway. I do think Texas Tech will find a home, and I think Oklahoma State will find a home.
Will Baylor?
I don't know. I mean, yes, somewhere, but is it going to be in a, quote, Power 5 conference? I'm skeptical.
Yeah. Okay. Let me read this to you. The Big 12 distributed $345 million to its 10 members this year, $34.5 million apiece, down from the previous year because of the pandemic. Most of the revenue comes from the Big 12's TV deals, including ESPN.
Well, I think the thing that concerns me the most is it seems like ESPN is running college football. Yeah, I mean, people in Tennessee will tell you way back when that ESPN used their influence to make sure Charles Woodson won the Heisman because they had the Rose Bowl.
Right.
Or something like that. And I don't remember all the details over Peyton Manning, and so they were really pushing for him. I think that ESPN now is, when you get to a point where as a network, you can say, hey, we'll raise our TV deal this much if you guys will leave and join this conference, and if you guys will take them, and then start talking to the remaining ones that we've heard. Bob Bowlesby says that he has evidence, irrefutable evidence, that ESPN's then trying to broker deals to move the other teams into conferences, so then Texas and Oklahoma won't have to pay the exit fee. And I just that just doesn't sit right to me. It's like this monopoly that should be illegal.
So Bowlesby yesterday said he wasn't going to go there anymore.
He just said he wasn't going to talk about it publicly.
Right. He wasn't going to talk about it. But is it the president, Hartzell from Texas? He said absolutely ESPN was not involved. That this, again, they have to say what they have to say. But that's the spin that they're putting. But I think my favorite part of the entire exchange was when Senator Lois Kolkhorst noted that the Longhorns had only won 3 of the last 10 games against their alma mater, TCU. Maybe your fan base would rather lose to Alabama than TCU. And it was only 2 wins, not 3.
Well, here's the thing of that. It's fun to poke, you're having this meeting. Either do something constructive one way or another to try to say, hey, we don't think that this is a good move for the state of Texas, and we're going to do everything we can to actually block it. To me, that's a setting that, trading barbs just is unnecessary.
Right.
It's a waste of time. I mean, that's what you do on message boards, right?
Right, you're right.
So in a committee like that, get down to business or don't even have it. And I don't, that just doesn't. Look, I'm all for ragging on Texas, but you got to do it in the right environment, and I don't know if that was the right environment for that.
I agree, and I apologize that I have turned my attention away from you a couple times. I'm texting.
No,
so we're moving guests around, so just a programming update.
I got a text. Irma says she's going to call you.
All right, well, I'll talk like this on the show. Jackie Sherrill is now calling at 10:35, not 9:05.
Oh, that'll get you excited.
Yeah, hey now. And Guayo is calling the show now at 9:05. So we just flip-flopped a little bit to make everybody's schedules work. Jackie's got some stuff going on early, and Guayo wants to go to bed early, so he will be calling the show at 9:05. Can you stick around for that? So I know you guys are buddies.
I can stick around as long as you need me.
Well, can you do the show so I can go run some errands?
I could do that if I needed to.
I am kidding about that.
I know you are.
We will. We'll get Guayo here at 9:05 to give us an Olympic update. Do want to get to some text messages. Here's one. Chase in Houston. I guess I'm old. I'm an old man because not a chance in hell I'm giving up my senior year of high school for any type of money grab. There's just something about being with your friends for one more year and play that last year of pure sports you will ever will. But I'm a traditionalist, and those people are dying a slow death, apparently.
I agree with him. Again, I respect every individual to make the decision for themselves. Even though I heard some guys on the SEC network, I think Gene Chizik was among them. And it wasn't about this, but it was about a different NIL thing. And he was saying sometimes you've got to protect the kids from themselves.
Sure.
And you make bad decisions as 17, 18, 19-year-olds, and that's true. But in a free society, you have the freedom to make those decisions, and if they turn out to be bad, then you have to you have to adjust, but you should still be able to make your decision.
Yeah, look, I'm not in their shoes. It's very difficult for me to tell you how I'd handle it, and I think for you as well, because we're not in that situation. And some of it may have to do with fear of the future. Some of it may have to do with your parents' financial situation, that you need every dollar that you can get. I don't know Quinn Ewers' situation. I don't know why he's doing this, if it's to capitalize, if it's because he really wants to get to campus, or I don't know. I hate it, and I wouldn't want it for my children. But I'm not getting offered $500 to $1 million, right? And in that situation, do I look at my? I don't think I would. I think I'd be like, I really think you need to, because my philosophy in parenting, not necessarily in athletics, but I think it permeates to athletics, is preserve the youth. Certain music, certain TV shows, certain language, there's certain things you want to preserve the youth as long as possible in my household. That is our philosophy, and that is another example of when you start making money on your name, image, and likeness, and you get to college early, that clock starts ticking a little bit faster. Your responsibilities change. Senior year, to me, should be fun about even the social aspect beyond football. Beyond football, and I know there's kids that finish their fall semester and go to college. I'm not even sure I love that either. I understand it, and for the football program, it looks great, right? That's a whole semester of learning the system, getting to know people before everybody else. Then when August comes, you are way ahead of the curve. I understand it from a football sense. From a parental sense, I would like to preserve the youth and keep them at home. Go to prom. Go, and maybe you can still go to prom, but you see, I'm saying the leading up to it.
I do know this. I have a son who's going to be a senior at College Station High School, and he's looking forward to going back to school, which is something that an emotion I never felt.
Sure.
But it's his senior year, and he's looking forward to experiencing his senior year.
Let me throw this angle out at you, and maybe it made it easier, but a lot of people did homeschool last year or virtual school for part of the year, half the year. Wouldn't you want to recoup that, that ability to go back in school and be around your buds and class to class, just one last time, one last hurrah?
You would think. Of course, Quinn Ewers may be thinking, well, you know what? When I come back to visit, I'll take some of that ridiculous amounts of money and take all my buddies out, and we'll have a good time. So,
I remember Christian Pulisic, the one we talked about earlier. He did fly back from Europe to do a prom which would have been his high school buddies and high school senior year and all that stuff. Look, if you're getting paid as and again, this is making college football, to me, semi-pro NFL. It's what it's becoming because of it, even though the school itself isn't paying the salary.
Now, I understand Quinn Ewers, if I'm not mistaken, and Broniger and Billy would know this better than I, but I understand Quinn Ewers had some injuries last year and he played hurt.
Yeah.
So maybe that plays into it. Hey, I could play my senior season, and like I said earlier, that money would still be there 6 months, presumably 6 months from now. But I don't want to get hurt. What I find, I think, somewhat alarming is that I think they think he can make, high 6 figures, 7 figures without ever playing in college football.
Well, that thought, because we do need to go to a break here in a moment, but I do want to read this as we are finishing up the segment. Positive Yardage on the chat says, who needs prom when you can buy bottle service in Vegas with your NIL profits? Bottle service, baby. That's something that we didn't have when we were in high school, my friend.
Can you get that when you're 18 in Nevada? I guess you probably can.
Probably can.
I know you can't.
Not legally.
You can't gamble until you're 21.
And I don't think you can drink until you're 21 there either. Yeah. But you know what? Never stopped anybody. Right now, though, I'm completely switching gears here. All right. One is about, name, image, and likeness, and me, give me all the money in the world. How about give? The Association of Former Students, you need to give to them. 140 years, over 140 years. They have been helping out the Aggie Network. They've empowered them to be here, there, and everywhere. And what they do is give folks, if it's student organizations, like $125,000 back in 2019 to the Texas Aggie Band for travel. Beyond that, Ross, the volunteer company, the MSC, you name it, they are all over it. And it's not that expensive, guys. It's not expensive at all. $100 a year, about $9 a month. You get the decal, the plaque, the Texas Aggie magazine. I want to encourage you to give to the association, and you're helping Aggies around the world, the future and the now. Think about that for a moment. To learn more about the impact of the association or get involved, make a gift, visit aggienetwork.com/giving.
This is The Zone. Aggieland's all sports station.
Hey, it's David Nuño. Texas known for football, barbecue, and hot summer temperatures. And typically, the hotter the weather, the higher your electricity bill. But with some help from Energy Ogre, a Texas technology company, you can lower your bill by up to 40%. In fact, we signed up 2 years ago, and they saved my family 35%. Energy Ogre will find you the cheapest electricity plan in your area. Manage all future contracts, saving you time and money. Go to EnergyOgre.com and enter code HOWDY for a free month of service. That's EnergyOgre.com to start saving today.
Big deals. Hi, it's Jenny from Big Deals, and I've got a big announcement to make. Big Deals now has an app that lets you shop, buy, and redeem your mobile certificates. It's so easy. Just go to your app store and type in Big Deals Media. That's Big Deals Media. Now more than ever, it's so easy to shop Big Deals from your phone.
Discounted gift certificates to your favorite Aggieland businesses. Download the Big Deals Media app now.
The flagship station for Aggie Athletics is The Zone. Whenever the Aggies are playing, you can hear them right here at 1150 and 93.7 FM. Thanks to our listeners and our sponsors for backing the Aggies all season long. First Financial Bank, Bryan College Station Toyota, Rudy's Barbecue, Schulte Roofing, The Sleep Station, and Pioneer Steel. Here's a big gig-em to all these sponsors. Listen to Aggie Athletics on The Zone 1150 and 93.7 FM.
Hey, Joe, I thought you were retired.
Living on a fixed income is tough. So here I am, an essential worker.
I know. I mean, food prices are going up every day. Thank goodness for benefitscheckup.org.
Benefits what?
benefitscheckup.org. It's a free website where people over 60 can find help to pay for food, medicine, even utilities. I got $1,200 a year in benefits. Maybe it can help you.
This is ESPN Radio.
Warren Moon joining us right now, Hall of Famer.
The Green Bay Packers still give them the best chance to win a Super Bowl.
Willie Lanier, one of the greatest players in history of the NFL.
The objective, if they get an opportunity to play in pros, is to go back to school immediately. Complete your degree immediately.
Joe Theismann, former Washington football team quarterback.
I'm beginning to believe more and more that Aaron Rodgers will not be a Green Bay Packer.
We're talking with Cam Newton as he joins us right now.
No type of clickbait to just say, Cam views him as a competition. I look at everything as competition.
Wanda Sykes, comedian extraordinaire.
I just love the game. If you go to a game, you're going to love it.
Legendary soccer player, the great Abby Wambach.
You're representing your country. Go get the damn goal.
Vernon Davis, how are you doing? Out of the gate, because it says you're the voice of the ESPYs.
So give me ESPY voice. Yeah.
This is Vernon.
ESPN Radio, weeknights and weekends on Sports Radio 1150 AM and 93.7 FM. The Zone.
I've been to one luau.
Yeah?
Never have to go to another one.
You're good after that?
I'd recommend going to one.
Just going to one. This is TexAgs Radio presented by David Garner's Jewelers here in the Rollo Insurance Studio. The A&B text line is popping out there, as is the BCSI Associates hotline, 979-693-1150. I do want to read one from our friend Clay Taylor.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if he wants me to say his name, but we love Clay. Clay says, let's show Ewer some love for working hard to finish his senior year of school over the summer so this could be possible. Sure, again, there are different layers to this story, right? And I think a young man should be commended for obviously being smart enough to finish school early and having that. But again, old people syndrome here, it's not how it was when I was a kid. I want it the way it used to be. I understand the evolution. For my children, I would want them to stay. And I'm not 100% sure if I was faced with that question with my children, if Real Madrid says, you know what, we want Christian and Cruz to come out here. We're going to pay you guys $10 million. How do you say no to that? Or $500,000 or $1 million? I don't know what the number is. And I hate saying it's for sale, but it does weigh into the conversation.
Yeah, if Quinn Buchanan was that kind of an athlete in our financial situation, I would have a hard time saying no. Of course, my son would say, well, you can't have any of it. So it probably wouldn't factor into my decision.
I have to say this. I have not kept up with the Britney Spears case.
Yeah.
But apparently her parents are all up in her business.
Yeah, her dad, right?
Yeah. Hey, hello. I'm glad I brought that up. And we'll get to you here in a second, Tori. But think about all the things when young people have not only parents, just people around them guiding their careers. How many actors who have had the same kind of situation turn out to be crazy as they get older? And I'm talking about what Britney went through, Michael Jackson. I think Ricky Schroeder probably had some issues growing up. I'm assuming. I might be guessing. I might get in trouble here. Webster, did he have any issues?
No, but I think that guy, what was his name? Corey
Haim?
I think he had
issues. I had him on my radio show back at 1560.
Right? How about that?
Yeah, a few months before he passed. Corey Feldman. I think
that's the one I was thinking of.
They both had issues.
Yeah.
The two Coreys.
Yeah.
They were a crew.
So I don't know that that's the issue here.
No.
But again, I'd say this. Clay Taylor's brother is a high school football coach. I wonder what he would think of it.
Oh, yeah. And I think as a coach, you have to be careful what you say. You do, even if you're against it, unfortunately. Tori, I lied to you. You want to say something to us?
Do I want to say something to you?
You got about a minute.
Okay, I'm going to just read a text because I don't think my 2 cents is really what we want to hear here. Brandon College Station says, in the long run, I think leaving early could be a bad decision. You certainly could make a fat paycheck, but I look at the guy like Demas, who has all the talent in the world, but absolutely needed his senior year just to prepare himself for college.
I agree with that, and I think there's something about getting experience and reps at a certain level. OB, the Go Hour is done. We're going to go extended edition because your buddy Guayo going to join us here in a few minutes to talk about the Olympics. He's in Japan. We've got that and much more on TexAgs Radio.
This is Eggieland's only all-sports station.
Let's play, fellas!
The Zone, 1150 AM and 93.7 FM.
Adopt US Kids presents What to Expect When You're Expecting. A teenager. Learning the lingo.
Today I'm going to help parents translate teen slang. Now, when a teen says something is on fleek, it's exactly like saying, that's rad. It simply means that something is awesome or cool. Another one is totes. It's exactly like saying totally, just shorter. As in, I totes love going to the mall with Becca. Another word you might hear is jelly. Jelly is a shorter, better way to say jealous. As in, Chloe, I am like so jelly of your unicorn phone case.
You don't have to speak teen to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will think you're, rad just the same. To learn more, visit adoptuskids.org. A public service announcement brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
What if the music stopped? If the familiar voices were silenced? If there were no breaking news updates? What if your companion and connection to your community came with a monthly fee? Don't worry, we're free local radio with you wherever you go, celebrating 100 years and looking forward to the next 100. We are broadcasters. Text radio to 52886 and let Congress know you depend on your local TV and radio stations. This message furnished by the National Association of Broadcasters.
This is Eggieland's home for Aggie football, Aggie basketball, and Aggie baseball. The Zone 1150 AM and 93.7 FM. Plus online at RadioAggieland.com. This is KZNE College Station Bryan.
From WTAW, I'm Chelsea Reber with a news update on the Zone. Friday morning is groundbreaking for Bryan ISD's third intermediate school. BISD board members followed up on a vote in June to buy steel for the building by unanimously approving the guaranteed maximum price for the rest of the building. Facilities Director Paul Buckner said the total guaranteed maximum price of $45.7 million is $182,000 under budget.
That budget includes contingency, correct?
Yes, ma'am. So those savings could be higher at the end of the project with any leftover.
We'll pray for that.
Yes, absolutely.
Friday's groundbreaking ceremony starts at 9 at the corner of Wilkes Road and Bonham Drive. The Bryan Fire Marshal's office is investigating what has been labeled as an arson last Friday in the playground at Jones Elementary School. A Bryan ISD spokesman says what was a very minor incident involved someone apparently setting fire to some of the wood chips in the playground. We're about halfway through the filing period for those interested in running for Bryan ISD School Board and the College Station City Council and School Board. The first filing in almost 2 weeks was yesterday, involving a candidate for College Station City Council. There are now contested races for both council seats after William Wright filed for the Place 4 seat. Wright is running against Elizabeth Cunha, who is finishing an unexpired term and is seeking a full term. Registration is now open for nonprofit organizations wanting to participate in this year's Brazos Valley Gives event. Co-chair Molly Watson says nonprofits from all 7 counties in the Brazos Valley region are invited to sign up.
We really want to stress to our other counties outside of Brazos County. Again, this year we're just widening our scope. We hope to have over 150 nonprofits this year, and we've set a goal for 750,000. I'm hoping we get to 1 million.
Watson says there is a $150 registration fee. The deadline to sign up is September 10th. Find more information at brazosvalleygives.org. I'm Chelsea Reber on The Zone.
Tim Bailey Plumbing. Drivers, be particularly alert during the hours when children are walking to and from school. Please drive as if their lives depended on it. All too often they do. This message is from Tim Bailey Plumbing, serving the Brazos Valley. They're your residential plumbing service and remodeling specialists. Dependable service at reasonable rates. Call for your service and remodeling needs at 979-204-9800. That's 979-204-9800. Tim Bailey Plumbing, wishing our kids a safe and healthy back-to-school season.
At United Roofing and Sheet Metal, we've got you covered inside and out.
Need help with your high wind or hail damage claims? Call Larry Winkler and the fine folks at United. United Roofing is your local, professional, family-owned business with over 40 years of service to the Brazos Valley. United is your insurance claims specialist, providing the most comprehensive full-system labor and material warranty in the roofing industry. Call United today at 268-ROOF.
I'm Steve Miller with your Aggie Sports Minute. Former Texas A&M guard and College Station's very own Alex Caruso has agreed to a 4-year, $37 million deal to play for the Chicago Bulls this season. Undrafted, Caruso has spent the last 4 years with the Los Angeles Lakers organization, where he won a championship in 2020. This past season, Caruso averaged 6.4 points, 3 rebounds, 3 assists, and shot 40% from 3. Checking in on Aggies in the Olympics, Chris Middleton scored 2 points, 2 rebounds, and 2 assists as the U.S. men's basketball team beat Spain 95-81 Tuesday. Kevin Durant scored 29 points to keep his quest for a third Olympic title alive, and the Americans are headed to the medal round. Trinidad and Tobago's Dion Lindor ran a time of 44.93 to place 4th in the first heat of the men's 400-meter semifinal, while Tyra Gittins, also of Trinidad, placed 10th in the women's long jump final. Tahara Triki advanced to the triple jump finals, and Maggie Malone won her group and advanced to the javelin final. Texas A&M Swimming and Diving named Caroline Maxville to the staff as assistant coach. A 4-year letter winner at A&M, Maxville returns to Aggieland after serving as an assistant coach for the past 3 seasons at LSU. And prior to her time in Baton Rouge, she spent 3 seasons at Miami as an assistant coach after beginning her collegiate coaching career as a graduate assistant at TCU. That's your Aggie Sports Minute. For Hillco Metal Roofing and Supply, call 936-825-0500 or click hillcosupply.com. I'm Steve Miller on The Zone.
The flagship station for Aggie Athletics is The Zone. Whenever the Aggies are playing, you can hear them right here at 1150 and 93.7 FM. Thank you to all our listeners and our sponsors for backing the Aggies all year long. Cooper's Old Time Pit Barbecue, Swartman Flooring, Prosperity Bank, Hargrove Insurance, Park at Traditions Exceptional Senior Living, Cherry Rufino Broker Realtor with Coldwell Banker Apex Realtors, and Amarillo National Bank. Here's a big gig 'em to all these sponsors. Listen to Aggie Athletics on The Zone 1150 and 93.7 FM.
TexAgs Radio Extended OB edition here on a Tuesday. We are presented by David Gardner's Jewelers here in the Rollo Insurance Studio. So we're expecting Guayo, Eduardo Palomo, to call the show. We may have our times mixed up, but we're trying to get him here on the show early part. He He wanted to be earlier in the show, so we kind of maneuvered some things around, and we're waiting for him to call the show. But he was there at Ethan Moe's gold medal winning race, a gold medal that we all expected to see.
Guile's son is an aspiring Olympian in rowing.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah. In fact, he may be rowing, for all I know, in the Olympics.
And apparently we know his brother as well, correct?
Well, one of his brothers, I think he has 3 brothers. They're all great guys. One of them is calls soccer for ESPN.
Also an Aggie.
Yeah, also an Aggie. I think I wrote about him once.
Yeah.
When he was an athlete here. And then he has another brother, Federico, I believe it is, that lives in Miami. Took Gabe and I out for dinner when we were in Miami for the Orange Bowl.
I'm hearing these stories about the life of Texags with you and Gabe. I'm getting really jealous of some of the things you guys have gotten to do.
It's all coming up, man. it's about 6 weeks.
Yeah, it's so we don't know where we're going to get him, so we'll wait a little bit, see if we can get him. I know you guys have a good relationship, so we will discuss that here. Let's continue our football dialogue because I think that we talked a little bit earlier about Damon Demas being our number 19 in our 21 in 21 presented by Factory Builder Stores. I want to ask you this question in a broad sense, not just in a Damon. We know what kind of player he can be, but what happens to the A&M offense if he does reach that potential that we all saw in high school?
Well, I think then potentially you take that offense that has the ability, we think, to control the ball like they did last year. But then you add that quick, more of that quick strike ability. So you really, I think, become this complete offense that's just that confuses defense, not in terms of the way, you would confuse them and moving things around, but how do I decide what to try to stop? Because they got Isaiah Spiller and A-Chain back there. And
right.
If you were at the TexAgs kickoff or heard it online, Jimbo Fisher sounds very confident to me about their offensive line.
Yes, he does.
So I'm not saying it's going to be as good as last year's, but he seemed very confident in what they have.
Let's say if it's in the same ballpark,
Ballpark, yeah. So if I've already shown you that I can run the ball on you and beat you, and if I've got linebackers and safeties having to cheat up because Isaiah Spiller is just killing me, and I run the play action, or even if I just don't, and I got a guy like Demas and Chapman that can really motor, and they get down, and you know what? It could be like, I don't want to bring up bad memories, but A&M's playing Alabama last year. Alabama's looking at, everybody will remember this, Alabama's looking at like 3rd and 12 at their own 15 or something like that. And they run a play, and Damani Richardson's on defense, and he hesitates for just a second to make sure, I don't know what he's reading. And it's a hesitation for just a second. And in that brief time, Jalen Waddle goes right by him for an 85-yard touchdown catch. And I think that's what a healthy Caleb Chapman and a Damon Demas reaching his full potential gives you, is that it puts that defense on, okay, I think I know where I need to go, but in that instance of hesitation, Demas is downfield, and you're going to hit him for the long.
All right, so along those lines, you heard Jimbo talk. I would say the analysts out there feel that Haynes King has got the upper hand at the quarterback spot. That being said, if you hear Jimbo talk, it's a little closer than what people think. And I'm wondering, with a new offensive line, with somebody who's been in the system a little bit longer, with somebody who is a pocket passer, if you will, if that changes the dynamic early on.
It could. I tend to think that Haynes King's going to win that competition, and I'm basing it not on anything I've seen other than a few years ago when it was Kellen Mond and Nick Starkel. Nick Starkel was the big-armed guy.
Yep.
Kellen Mond was the guy who was more mobile and you could do more things with. So maybe that makes me think Jimbo likes the mobile quarterback a little bit more, and of all things being equal,
he's going to go with that.
Want the mobile quarterback. Now, Zach Calzada may be, significantly better than Nick Starkel.
Right.
And some of the things when I watch Haynes King throw, nice arm. I mean, he gets the ball where it needs to get, and he seems to be accurate. But I don't know that he's the guy that, I still have to wait and see what kind of deep ball he throws.
Yep. He doesn't throw as pretty of a ball as Calzada does, but he throws a good ball.
No, that's good and absolutely good enough. But Calzada's a rocket. So if you got that guy going deep, and you got to get it out to him in stride, and get it way out there, Calzada, I think, does it more consistently.
Would you say Kellen was a running quarterback or not? Because I think he ran to run, but he wasn't a particular. That's not his. And Haynes is, from what I've seen, more of a runner.
Well, Kellen was I think he started out to be a running quarterback, like a lot of young guys do.
Yep.
But I think ultimately Kellen was a quarterback who could run. In fact, I don't think he ran enough. Now, some of that was that they wanted to keep him healthy, but I don't think Kellen utilized his ability to run enough. There were so many times I'm thinking, why are you not just taking off?
Go
it's there. And I think Haynes is going to be. I think if you're going to play for Jimbo Fisher and you can run, you're going to be a quarterback who runs, not a running quarterback.
You use it when you have to use it, but people compare Haynes, and always an unfair comparison, to a little bit of Johnny Magic, if you will, because of the ability to scramble and to run. Not in the sense that he's going to be that level of quarterback. Hopefully he is, but the fact that he can create plays and create space and something dynamic could happen for that. When you look at some of the big plays this team has done over the last few years, it's been those plays that have broken down and something great happens.
Well, you'll like this. I think of Haynes potentially being more like Bucky Richardson than Johnny Manziel.
My fave.
Because when I see Haynes running, I think I'm going to see a guy that pulls up and is just going east and west as fast as he can, and that's really fast. So I mean, I'm sorry, north and south.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm
I'm
directionally challenged. I guess it depends on how the
field's set, yeah.
But I see him just going in a straight line. I mean, he'll veer here and there, but Johnny was like playing, a joystick thing, pinball or whatever. He's going all these different directions. I don't see that about Haynes, but I think he's going to be a good enough passer and maybe someday develop into an excellent passer.
Yeah, I think so too. So let's do this. We are going to try to take an early break because I did get a message from Eduardo. He is now in the hotel room, so he is ready to join us. He actually, he's going to hate me. Like he's been texting me since yesterday, like, 10:30 is a little late. So we worked our magic. We're going to get him on. He's rushing from the Olympic Village to join us here on the show. I'll tell you what would have made his commute a little bit better. I'm just telling you, had he had his vehicle from Caldwell Country, if he had one, I'm telling you, he would have not had these issues. I may be living in this fantasy world, but I'm telling you, that's what I think about Caldwell Country. They are the best out there. Zach Hester and his crew. If he had a place there in Japan, he would fix whatever vehicle you're in without a doubt. He'd get you the right vehicle to get you from point A to point B. That's what he does. He's got all the great deals on the website. They do change month to month, but that opportunity to go into the location and just being helped from beginning to middle to end, that's what they do. They're simply a call or click by, or just come by Caldwell Country Chevrolet today. You'll see the inventory that they have. Their used car lot their inventory is low, so they're needing to buy stuff. If you've got something, they'll buy it from you. They'll give you a great deal. Such a short drive from Bryan to Caldwell, short conversation away. It is Caldwell Country Chevrolet, Highway 21 in Caldwell, and online at caldwellcountrychevrolet.com.
This is the Zone 1150 AM and 93.7 FM.
Question: would you pick a chain barbecue place over a hometown joint? Do you root for East Coast universities instead of the local team? Nah, then why choose a big Wall Street bank? A&B started in 1892. 5 generations later, we're still owned and operated by the same Texas family. We support this community. We value your privacy. We make quick decisions, and we hate red tape. We answer to you, not Wall Street. Bank with A&B. Family owned, Texas proud. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Big Deals. Hi, it's Jenny from Big Deals, and I've got a big announcement to make. Big Deals now has an app that lets you shop, buy, and redeem your mobile certificates. It's so easy. Just go to your app store and type in Big Deals Media. That's Big Deals Media. Now more than ever, it's so easy to shop big deals from your phone.
Discounted gift certificates to your favorite Aggie Land businesses. Download the Big Deals Media app now.
Our publications reach every corner of the Brazos Valley, and we want to partner with you in sharing your message with the community. You may recognize a few of our Bryan Broadcasting publications.
Best of the Brazos Valley.
Brazos Life, the annual manual.
Welcome home, Brazos Valley.
Brazos Family.
Brazos Wellness.
Brazos Valley Bride.
Peace, Brazos Christian Life.
With the combined power of 7 magazine titles, 11 radio stations, and digital solutions, Bryan Broadcasting Publications can help you be heard. Call 979-695-9595 to learn more.
Hey, Joe, I thought you were retired.
Living on a fixed income is tough. So here I am, an essential worker.
I know. I mean, food prices are going up every day. Thank goodness for benefitscheckup.org.
Benefits what?
Benefitscheckup.org. It's a free website where people over 60 can find help to pay for food, medicine, even utilities. I got $1,200 a year in benefits. Maybe it can help you.
If you missed TexAgs Radio presented by David Garner's Jewelers, you missed this.
What did McGee do this time?
He mentioned that...
Because I'm going to have dinner with him this week. We're going to have to discuss these little panic sessions he induces. He is a panic driver.
Nightmare scenario is Jimbo leaving for maybe, and I think he mentioned LSU as a possibility.
And here's the thing. That's the little gossip going around on message boards and golf courses. I know Jimbo Fisher loves it.
He's not leaving if they make the college football playoffs and he's got a national championship.
Well, no, that's an absolute no. But I think even here's this he's going up this mountain and he's at a point in his career where this is a real challenge, and this is establish yourself as one of the all-time greats in this game. To win one as an assistant in the SEC, to go win one at Florida State where you replaced a legend, and then to do it where it just hasn't been done in modern history.
It's TexAgs Radio on the Zone. All right, I'm producing on the fly here, my friend. Guayo is having a hard time calling the show from Japan. I can imagine that'd be difficult. So I just texted Dalton his email address. We're going to work on getting him on Zoom here, hopefully during this segment, so we can move on to some more football talk. But I just sent that info to Dalton a moment ago here on TexAgs Radio, presented by David Garner's Jewelers in the Rollo Insurance Studio. And so we'll get Guayo, who's in Japan for the Olympics, to give us a quick report. He's been going to all the Aggie stuff, and I think he was going to go check out the men's basketball team and Durant and whatnot, and which I was surprised to see he's the leading scorer all time for the U.S. men's team. I did not know that. I did not know that as well.
Of course, back in the day, for years and years and years, you played one time, one Olympic Games.
Yeah, so I was trying to explain to my kids. They had a hard time understanding why LeBron James and Steph Curry and those guys did not want to play for the U.S. team, the U.S. men's team. And I was like, well, they're tired. They've done it many times. They had a long season. And they're like, so it's playing for your country. And I was like, you know what? You're right.
I agree.
You're right. Sorry you're tired.
I don't think there's any – if I was an athlete, I don't think there's any honor I could have more than playing for my country. I mean, people would say, yeah, if you could be anything, what would you be in athletics? I'd want to be the quarterback of the Super Bowl winning, pitcher in the World Series. For me, the greatest thrill would be if I could win a gold medal for my country and stand there proud while they played the national anthem in my honor.
Yeah.
Man, what a feeling that must be.
Yeah, I've understood it because it's happened so much over the years. They just want, the Dream Team, 92. Did anybody come back to 96? I don't think anybody came back, right? And if I remember correctly, maybe one player would have come back, but I don't think anybody did. I think it was a completely different team from 92 to 96.
Well, you weren't. I assume you weren't old enough to remember this, but I wish that every athlete that represented the United States would have the thrill of winning when they won and love of country that the hockey team in 1980 had.
Yep.
Now a lot do. You see, I can remember in L.A. when they won, the men and women won the relays, and they'd be running around taking a victory lap with the flag and things like that. But I agree with your kids. I don't understand if you have the opportunity, if you're not hurt, and you have an opportunity to play for your country.
Now, I think this year is a little different in the fact that the NBA season ended not for LeBron, and Chris Middleton found a way to get there, but not for LeBron. I think we're working on getting Guayo there on the BCSI hotline. I believe that's what the sound.
You think they have any technology in Japan that should be able to make this happen?
Well, hey, it's called producing on the fly. We're trying to make it work. We're trying to get Guayo on the line to give us our Olympic report, and he's getting a lot of love today on the show, isn't he?
Well, he deserves it. He's a great guy, and he loves A&M. When I went down to El Salvador and met him, and a lot of the El Salvadorans that were part of the San Salvador Aggie Club, I was taken aback to some degree just how much pride they had for Texas A&M.
Yeah.
And they're very successful. And, it's surprised me that they were such big football fans.
Well, let's do this. The longest tease in the history of TexAgs Radio. We are now going to the BCSI hotline, and we're joined by Eduardo Palomo, who is in Japan covering the Olympics. He is also the president of the El Salvador Olympic Committee. Guayo, how are you, sir?
Howdy, David. It's good to meet you. It's good to see OB there. That's I don't know why I have the privilege to be here in your show. It's very nice to be able to reach everybody, every Aggie, because from a guy who's a fan to be able to have this experience and to be able to see the joy and the big smile of Athene, and just saying, we love you guys and thanks for the support back home. That just says everything. This is what the Olympics are all about, just putting a smile in everyone's face. And I'm just so fortunate to be able to be here and so lucky that y'all think I'm important enough to be able to relay this information.
Well, I was a little worried, Guayo. I'm going to be very honest with you, because I was like, man, he's going to be like in the nosebleeds. Any video he gets us isn't going to be up close. Goodness gracious, you were a foot away breaking protocol with A Thing Mo out there. You got great video of her right after she won.
Well, listen, in 1982, I decided to go to the World Cup in Spain. And the first ticket I got for the opening match was at the Barcelona Stadium, was in the nosebleed. From that point on, I decided I was going to try to get always either 50-yard lines or, as close as I could get to the players, even if I was going to have to be the water boy. So, I'm lucky enough that at A&M, my compadre Porter Garner, sometimes he would give me his 50-yard lines because he preferred to be on the zone. And I said, man, there's nothing like being, he had 50-yard line tickets at Kyle Field. And I remember one day we beat TU, and I think it was Detron Smith that just ran back and forth all over the field, a rainy game. And, I just wouldn't move. And I remember I was wearing boots and the water was just coming down the boots. It was the end of those lizard boots.
Hey, Guayo, my amigo, were you wearing that Texas A&M hat when you were talking to Athene? Because it looked like she understood that where you were from.
Yeah, heck yeah, she did. She had a big old smile. Not only that, let me see if I can find my mask.
Uh-oh.
He must have had an A&M mask on as well.
This guy is like a NASCAR. He's got A&M hat, El Salvador on his back, and let's see what mask he's going to bring here for those not watching, listening to the stream or listening on the Zone.
Look at this.
Yeah.
Oh
okay.
my gosh.
Yeah, I've got that one.
Yeah, I have. So I had this one on.
This one with the collage of A&M logos and Reveille and things like that on a maroon background.
This one's pretty good. You know, you can sleep pretty good on it. You don't choke. You know, I'm always afraid I'm going to choke to death in one of these things, you know?
Let's just hope you don't have other things that are matching the A&M, like, you know.
Yeah. So Ting looked at you after she
finished.
This
is the best thing that I have.
Oh, yeah, that ring.
With everyone. And, you know, this one goes to the heart.
So Ting, when she wins, she looks up, and there you are with a Aggie hat, Aggie mask, and Aggie ring on. So I'm sure she was very enthusiastic about doing a quick interview.
What a lovely smile she has. You know, she just lit up, and well, you heard what I said. You know, I was lucky that Wi-Fi worked pretty good in that whole stadium. You know, they've got some pretty fast Wi-Fi here. You know.
Yeah, it's great to see. So what else have you been doing while you were there? Obviously, you're there for your other gig, but you've covered a lot of A&M events, I believe, correct? Or you're trying to go around and seeing everybody?
Well, today, while our athletes are not competing, I try to go to as many events as I can. You know, this is like, if you like sports, and if you like all sports, I personally got involved into this because of rowing. So I've tried to go to all of the rowing events, you know, that are over right now. And I was lucky enough to be able to see some great racing up in the Sea Forest Park. And just to give you a brief story of this Olympics, I was part of a seven men and women commission that evaluated 3 cities that presented their bids for the organization of the Olympics. So in 2013, I was here with a team of other IOC evaluators to see what Japan was going to do. And the entire world needs to be completely grateful and appreciative of what the Japanese people are doing to put this for humanity. You know, I just wanted to share with you how important it is. And I was talking to this friend of mine, Claudia Bocco. She was also in that commission. She's now the president of the German Fencing Federation. And we were just talking about this. Let me ask you, do you think, is there another free country or a democracy that could put these games together under these circumstances now? Do you think there could be another country that could stage this?
Well, the list would probably be small if there is. I would like to think the United States could, but with the political climate now, I don't know if you can get anything done.
Well, this is true, but I do believe that the U.S. could get it done for sure.
Well, let me tell you, the Japanese have done a great job. And it's so sad that most of their people cannot appreciate and be here. But they're so disciplined that you don't see you don't see any type of disorganization, the respect of the society for the rules, for the rule of law, the consideration, you know, and the respect in which the Japanese treat each other here. It's something that I take home, and I would love it if our cultures, especially in Latin America, we will respect the rule of law and due process.
Hey,
but that's away from sports. But sports cannot happen if we don't have this context.
Guile, a couple things right quick. So was there ever a doubt about Ating's race? You were there for the whole thing. Was there ever a doubt that she was going to win it? And then I want to know, how's El Salvador doing? And your son, especially, is he there rowing?
No, you know, my son, to do that quick, my son in January of this year, he was in Brazil last year for the qualification. And he had been training for a little over a year, and then went back to Philadelphia to continue training and rowing, and they kept changing the qualification dates. So he had committed to a school up in New York, and the school had deferred his scholarship. So in order to keep rowing the single, he changed schools to Temple. So he's going to Temple in Philly. And when they kept changing the dates of the regatta, he became very disillusioned and said, Papa, I think I'm going to row for the U.S. So he's been trying to row for the U.S. under 23 and just put aside the dream to go for El Salvador. You know, and it's just respected it. I'm supporting him. But like many other athletes, the pandemics really put a big hole and a big fracture in their training plans. And I think today, what we saw today is absolutely surprising. You know, we saw a world record in the 400 hurdles, you know, men, the Norwegian, Warhol, I think is his name. Amazing. The first three guys in that race broke the world record. So, you know, man, all the power to those guys because they kept training, they kept the dream alive, you know, when training sites were not open. And there are a lot of kids that weren't able just to continue with their training projects. Now, going back to your question, did I ever think that I think could not do it? Well, she like positioned herself pretty good, you know, right from the start. But on the second lap, you know, I thought, oh my God, there was somebody like getting close to her. But it's just immediately her stride just became longer. I think it was. No, I don't think there was, you know, but you know, you've always got to be nervous. I was nervous.
Hey, so last thing for you. We got about 30, 40 seconds left. What else is on the agenda? Is Annie Coots on the agenda for you?
Wonderful.
Absolutely. I'm gonna go see Annie. I think she competes tomorrow on the 100 meters. I think she goes tomorrow or the day after. I've got to check that. I'll keep you posted, David.
Great. I'm looking at her schedule. She's got a bunch of things scheduled for the 4th. Today she at 8:35, which I believe is Japan
it's probably
time.
Tomorrow for him.
Yeah. So I'm confused. I don't even know where you are. The time continuum.
Yeah, today is the evening of the it's 11:33 p.m. on Tuesday, August 3rd. Right?
Okay. All right. There we go.
So
hey,
we're on the same day for a few minutes.
A few more minutes. Guayo, thanks for being so flexible and joining us here on the show. Thanks so much for the call, and let's catch up soon, okay?
No, thank you for having me. Hopefully, OB will start liking some of your rap. You know, how's that coming?
Yeah, it's not coming. And I need to like George Strait, so we got to even it out.
Hey, the day that you get an OB shaking to some Snoop Dogg, you know, that'll be the day.
That will be the day.
That will
he
be
just,
the day.
He just got the Ice Cube Death Certificate album, so we appreciate that.
You know, we've got to do a program with Spencer Neely and OB. And listen, I'm very fortunate to have been able to pass this message to all of the Aggies. You know, the Olympics are about inspiring kids. And I hope Athene's smile puts a smile in a bunch of kids' faces. You know, the Olympics are a great thing, and she represents the best of Aguilan. Hey, Gigam,
Whoop.
Thank you for calling me. Okay,
you got it, Guayo. Thanks so much for the call, man. Take care and enjoy the rest of your trip there. All right, OB, thank you for joining us. We went a little long there, but it happens. Coming up next on the show, we're going to have Dave Wilson of ESPN breaking down the latest with the Ags and SEC expansion and anything else that we can think of. Maybe we'll talk a little Quinn Ewers as well. It is TexAgs Radio presented by David Gardner's Jewelers.
I'm Chelsea Reber with your community calendar on the Zone. The 28th Annual Feast of Caring, benefiting the Brazos Valley Food Bank, is Wednesday from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. at the Brazos Center. The meal is free and served by local celebrities, but donations are gratefully accepted. This Saturday, the College Station High School Cougar Band and Guard is holding their annual March-a-thon fundraiser. The band will perform from 8:30 to 10:30 a.m. at the Tower Point HEB. Donate online at marchathon.com. The Caldwell Burleson County Lions Club presents the movie Ratatouille Friday, August 13th at the Caldwell Civic Center. Doors open at 6 and the movie starts at 7. Canned goods or non-perishable food items are good for admission. The Bellucci Hour returns on Monday, August 2nd to the Tap, and it's powered by King Ranch Saddle Shop. Join Billy and Zach every Monday and Thursday from 6 to 7 p.m. at the Tap, or listen here on 1150 a.m. and 93.7 FM. I'm Chelsea Reber on The Zone.
Hi, welcome to Toyota's National Sales Event.
Thanks, Jen. You know, I've been waiting to get a great deal on a new Toyota all year.
Great deals are kind of our thing. Right now, we've got exciting offers on our lineup of 2021s, like Camry, Corolla, RAV4, Tacoma.
Wait. Look at that Highlander. Jen, do you mind watching Chance for me?
Oh, okay.
Thanks, Jen. You're the best.
Listen, Chance, I run a tight ship around here, so I don't want any funny business. Aw, who's a good boy? Toyota's national sales event is on, but these offers won't last long. Visit your participating Toyota dealer today. No, Chance, that's a display. It's not real grass.
Current offers end September 7th. See your participating Toyota dealer for details. Toyota, let's go places.
The flagship station for Aggie Athletics is The Zone. Whenever the Aggies are playing, you can hear them right here at 1150 and 93.7 FM. Thanks to our listeners and our sponsors for backing the Aggies all season long. First Financial Bank, Bryan College Station Toyota, Rudy's Barbecue, Schulte Roofing, The Sleep Station, and Pioneer Steel. Here's a big gig-em to all these sponsors. Listen to Aggie Athletics on The Zone 1150 and 93.7 FM.
It's Larry from Shelby, previously on the Paul Feinbaum Show.
Richard is up next.
Daryl, you have on. First of all, you can't understand the guy. He sounds like he's got marbles in his mouth. And he gets on there and he just bloviates all the time about nothing. He's the worst caller you guys got.
Daryl's still living in 1974 or whatever. I mean, Happy Days is on TV.
The Paul Feinbaum Show, powered by Polaris Fun Center, 2 to 4 weekdays on The Zone.
It is TexAgs Radio presented by David Gardner's Jewelers here in the Rollo Insurance Studio. Loved our conversation about the Olympics and what's happening there with Aguayo in Japan, getting that Athing Mo's gold medal. He was right there for it. We really do appreciate that. But we got a lot of football to get into. The Aggies are reporting on Thursday, and they'll have their first practice on Friday. So with that, we're going to go to the BCSI hotline, and we're going to talk to Dave. Dave, are you there?
I'm here. You got me?
Yes, I do. Sorry, I thought I lost you for a second. Dave Wilson of ESPN joining the show here on the BCSI hotline. Apologize for that. We had to move the schedule, then we kept it, and we'll get you on the show now to break down some Aggie football in the SEC. You doing okay, my friend?
Yes, sir. How are you guys?
We're great. So I guess the first thing is just seeing the Texas Select Committee yesterday and everything that was happening there with the Big 12, and you got Bowlesby and all the drama unfolding. How do you think take me through the last week for you as a journalist, how things have kind of shaked out?
Yeah, I texted Brent last week that he, threw all of our worlds into chaos there. But yeah, it's been, I will say I heard a little bit of a rumbling a while back, that, Texas after the Big 12 came to the TV networks and asked about, reopening the window, and that they heard that Texas and OU may look around. And I kind of thought, well, I'm not sure. And I made a bunch of calls, and everybody told me I was crazy because, the grant of rights didn't expire till 2025. So why would they do anything now? And then, of course, here you go. So it was crazy. And then just, trying to call as many people as you could and talk to as many people as you could and figure out what's going on.
What do you think of yesterday's events and the dialogue that happened, the way Texas responded, and just how did you think that all unfolded?
Oh, I think it's, political theater, as these things usually are when it comes to, sports and football are pretty intertwined here. I think, I heard you talk about Quinn Ewers a little bit. I think that, that will probably cause some political discussion too, when there's a law created that people feel like puts Texas at a competitive disadvantage in football. A lot of people jump to, as you saw in this committee yesterday. I don't know. I don't know that they're going to be able to sort of really stop this. I think the Aggies showed that, when it's time to go, it's time to go, and made their move. And, there wasn't much people could do at that point to stop it. And I think there's a lot of heavy hitters involved these days.
From an A&M perspective, initially, obviously, people were against this completely. And I know that there are people still against it. That being said, there's two schools of thoughts. Play them now, get them in the conference as soon as possible, show that there's a difference between SEC play and Big 12 play, and you have a Big 12 roster. And then there's the school of thought of let them just rest there in the Big 12 as long as possible. How do you think that part of it's going to play out? Nobody really believes it's going to be 2025, but maybe it's not next year either.
Yeah, I think that, everybody will say publicly and probably privately. I've heard some people say, yeah, there's nothing we can do about it. This is what it is. And you just know that, you can't imagine a scenario. I remember the last 2 years of the Southwest Conference, how awkward that was. And that was a completely, that was sort of a less of a blindside than this one was. So I can't imagine 4 years of that. So everyone's going to keep saying the thing until the lawyers can figure out a way to unwind it, I think. And I think you could see it in 2 years maybe, but that's completely speculation on my part. That's not from, what I'm hearing anywhere else.
Yeah, if it were to wait, though, I guess in the near future, how does that benefit Texas and Oklahoma, just using that headline that, hey, we're going to the SEC, but you're going to have to wait 2 years, maybe 3?
Right. There's not too many people that can sell the waiting other than like Nick Saban, who seems to be able to get the one guy to get it, people to hold in line. I think it is a tough sell.
Yeah, I think so. Dave Wilson with us here on TexAgs Radio, presented by David Gardner's Jewelers. All right, let's talk a little Aggie football. Here in College Station, as you can imagine, the feeling is this could be the year that the Aggies break through potentially to that college football playoffs and beyond, maybe a national championship. Early thoughts on how you think A&M can play?
Well, obviously the passing game is going to be, in my opinion, it's not really much of a going out on a limb there. The thing that determines their ambitions, obviously the defense is incredible, as good as we've seen it in a long time. But for whatever reason, and I know it's been often discussed, and I wrote a story at the end of last year about how they were just a really solid SEC football team last year. They ran the ball and they could pound it, they could run it on anybody, and so I don't think they had to necessarily show that last year. So I think this year that the key will be getting those young receivers engaged, and then obviously my gut is that Haynes King will be the guy, but that's just going off, little things here and there. And obviously what we've seen up to now, but, I think he gives them the potential to be a lot more athletic and a lot more of a deep threat, so we'll see that has a lot. I think there's a lot to be seen there.
We have a series where we're breaking down 21 players in 21 days, and Damon Demas was our feature today at number 19. He's the kind of player that, if he lives up to his potential, can take that Aggie offense to another level. Just when you think about the skill position that A&M has and how that, the other SEC schools are doing different types of shootouts than what Jimbo traditionally does. How do you think that matches up in the SEC?
Oh, I think it gives you, if you can be as physical as they were last year, I think it definitely gives you a big advantage. That's just, it's funny because it's almost like it's counter programming now, when everybody's, stretching it out and spreading the field out and throwing that. If you can line up and run it on people, it's almost like, people don't see that. They don't practice against it as much. But I just think that, Demas, for me, same thing last year. Obviously we were all excited to see what he was like, just a total, incredible athlete. And then, I don't know, exactly what the disconnect there was or why it didn't click. I do know from talking to people and that played for Jimbo at Florida State and have covered them that, it's really tough for receivers in this offense. It's complicated. And so it's not always the easiest for a young guy to pick it up. And I think we saw that last year.
When you look at the job Jimbo's done, what stands out to you?
Oh, I think it's I remember when I was living in Bristol in Connecticut, and we were talking about, the Aggies making the move. And I just remember, I think Ivan Maisel at the time saying, it's really hard to win with 18-year-olds on the line in the SEC. And, they had that great offensive line in their first year in the league, and it showed that how much of a difference that makes. What I've been most impressed with is really those bodies on the offensive and defensive line. It's just they're just a different brand of football team than we've seen here in a long time.
Dave, last thing for you. Let's go back to this SEC expansion, what it means big picture for college football. Where do you think those Big 12 schools are going to end up, with the Baylors of the world, the Texas Techs, maybe even in the American Athletic Conference? What's going to happen to Houston, perhaps, Cincinnati? Where are things going to shake out?
Well, that's the issue with the 4 years, right? Is if you're a Big 12 team and you're guaranteed 4 years at, say, $40 million a year, what is your impetus now for moving to another conference, unless it's the Pac-12? And I'm not sure. I could see maybe Tech being a fit with the Arizona schools, Colorado, Utah, maybe. Obviously, that would probably be their dream scenario. But I think it's a tough sell, and I know the rivalries and everything. I mean, I grew up in Texas. I understand, but I do think it's sad when you come down to a school like Iowa State, for instance, who in Ames is always a great environment. The fans always pack that place, even when they were not very good. In basketball, they always pack that place, and then basically you're told that you don't matter anymore in a small town where they love and live college football. To me, if you look back at the history, it's amazing to see where A&M fits in the grand scheme of things as a sort of a power school. Because really, there's not, based on geography, being close to Houston and having the recruiting base they do, that helps a lot. But the Aggies really committed to it. If you compare schools in the 60s to now, I can't imagine A&M is much different than any of those, Manhattan or Ames. And they just really committed to it in College Station. And now they're considered one of the top, power programs in the country that's a desirable for any team. So, I obviously empathize with these college towns. But I think it's really a tough sell based on all their TV numbers. I think the connotation even that Baylor not Baylor obviously, but TCU is a religious school, even though it hasn't been affiliated with the church in a long time, will probably be a knock on it from the Pac-10, who pretty West Coast thinking out there. So I think I think it's going to be tough and it's going to be hard. Baylor carries a lot of baggage. I would be really concerned about those schools.
I lied to you. I do want to ask a quick question about Quinn Ewers. We got about a minute left. This is going to really. We saw this move coming. Obviously, it was not hard to predict that this was going to happen. But what happens next? Does Texas change their laws? Is this going to be open the floodgates everywhere? Are youth sports eventually going to start, being able to capitalize on their name, image, and likeness? Just how do you see this going?
I mean, it's interesting, right? Cheerleaders, dance team members, things like that. Those kids younger and younger become giant influencers and make a ton of money. People all around sports make money off it. So, I understand that thinking that, here we go. But I think it is a matter of everybody adjusting because it's just the way the economy of fame works these days. I think if you're talking about in Texas particularly, I don't think there's going to be a lot of people that are going to be happy with the idea that, California can pay high school players and Texas can't. So like, for instance, the Texas quarterback commit could get paid right now and play high school football, whereas the kid going to Ohio State or a kid that's committed to A&M that's from Texas couldn't. And I think, everything's going to have to, you're going to start to see these adjustments, whether it's a federal law or whether, states start trying to one up each other, which they're already doing. So I just think the politicians are always going to protect Texas high school football. And that's what I would imagine, that there would start to be some adjustment to decisions like this.
Dave Wilson, thanks so much for your time, my friend. We'll talk soon, okay?
Appreciate it.
Appreciate you there on the BCSI hotline. All right, we appreciate that. We got an open segment to go here on TexAgs Radio, presented by David Gardner's Jewelers. Before the 10 o'clock hour is loaded. Jackie Sherrill going to be calling the show. John Harris calling the show. You will not want to miss it. It is TexAgs Radio, presented by David Gardner's Jewelers.
This This is Aggieland's home for sports. The Zone 1150 AM and 93.7 FM.
Tim Bailey Plumbing. Drivers be particularly alert during the hours when children are walking to and from school. Please drive as if their lives depended on it. All too often they do. This message is from Tim Bailey Plumbing, serving the Brazos Valley. They're your residential plumbing service and remodeling specialists. Dependable service at reasonable rates. Call for your service and remodeling needs at 979-204-98.